Life USA. Rehabilitation Center. Lead people to freedom. Freedom from substance abuse. Never give up. Free drug and alcohol recovery program.
One friend of mine, she lost her brother and she discovered him after 3 years on a drug market in St. Petersburg, and she discovered a terrible place. And she asked me and some of my friends to come with her to find her brother.
We went together as a group and began searching all over the city. But soon we discovered that in St. Petersburg, there wasn't only a city above ground, there was also one below. We found hidden underground tunnels and passageways leading to hundreds of old abandoned basements.
It's just sewer system there, the rats.
And to our shock, we couldn't believe what else we found.
We find her brother, but we find a lot of more young people with him. Hundreds of young people.
They were actually living down there in the sewers and basements.
А что это за грязь такая-то? Что за дерьмо там?
Ты хоть на сухое место лег, послушай, что это такое?
And it was obvious that they were suffering from drug addiction.
Ты сколько лет ты колешься?
Сколько лет ты колешься?
Лет 12.
Давно ты колешься? Сколько лет колешься?
Давно.
Ну сколько?
16.
And they was very rotten. They had infections on those bodies.
Ну, кровь идет.
Он содрал,
Да,
шкуру
куртку
заснуть,
содрал.
не киданулся же. Кровь листала.
А ну-ка поверни с той стороны.
Да, чуть не умер. Чуть не умер, это уснул ночью.
They were very skinny, smelly.
Вообще повыше. Подними еще повыше, подними. Слушай, ты как скелета.
Лёшка, ты же встал
У
сюда.
тебя дистрофия, брат.
Ужас, дистрофия.
Давно уже ему дистрофия.
Да, ой, мама.
Ну, туберкулез?
Да, 100% потому что серьезно.
Что у тебя с ногой? Что надо делать? Плоский.
Водичка.
Терпеть, только терпеть. Только терпеть.
We have no words to just explain our feelings, you know, that terrible it was.
Before a person commits fully to the program, which is 1 year, we sit down with them and explain that rehabilitation here isn't easy, and the process of change is going to be difficult. For example, this is a work-based program with rules and schedules they have to agree to keep. But it's the hard work that's going to be crucial for their physical and healthy recovery.
We realized one thing: we cannot give them time just to lay down and think about drugs, you know.
Drug addict is people who thinks a lot, because when you leave them like doing nothing, they're talking about old life.
That's why we put them from the second day they came here, we put them in a process. We encourage them to move even themselves, you know. Just walk, just do something. We encourage them to make simple things like a clean potato or wash dishes, you know.
And little by little, slowly, he start feel better and he start to do things. He start to work. When guys start to work, it's helped them to overcome the thought area.
Because if they're busy, they don't thinking about last life. That's it. When I have some moving, some work, some go to lunch, dinner, ministries, it's moving. I don't thinking about drugs. I'm thinking something other.
In fact, New Life has been honored and awarded for its achievements in agriculture, farming, and industry trades.
And they have list and list of certificates and medals and awards they've been given for turning people into productive members of society.
This is an anti-corruption commission.
Our departments now, we have the golden medals of Authority of St. Petersburg and St. Petersburg region and Department of Agriculture of Russia. We are one of the best farmings in the St. Petersburg region now.
What's so amazing is that the very lives that the government at one time didn't believe were worth saving are now the very lives they're honoring for what they've achieved at New Life. Lives once thought worthless and dead are now acknowledged as being some of the hardest working and most productive people in the world.
We started selling a lot of cocaine and everything seemed fun and cool until that one day my brother OD'd and died of a cocaine and my life was in shatters. I was in so much pain.
It took me right to the bottom, you know, like I was never, like I never thought I would actually become who I became.
It ruined my life.
All the things that you loved were gone, they vanished.
Took my driver's license away. So right now, you know, it's kind of hard for me to get a job.
I lost a lot of jobs, man. I lost like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month jobs.
Basically say I lost my business, sold my truck.
You don't have any more friends, you know. I lost all my friends. They would look at me as somebody else, you know. Like we used to hang out and stuff, and they'd be like, you know, you're not the same person anymore.
Everything that I said was a lie. No, nothing I said was the truth.
Everything I did was for me, and if I was doing something for you, I was just manipulating you so that you would give me what I wanted.
Just fighting with my loved ones, arguing with everybody that I knew, just to get a high.
There were times where my mom would kick me out. I was pretty much a bum living in somebody's car.
Like, not a lot of people like to live with an alcoholic or deal with an alcoholic, you know?
I was just too embarrassed to see my little sister, you know what I mean? I was ashamed. She was looking up to her big brother, and now her big brother's washed up.
I came to my dad's job, and he seen me, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Man, you're so skinny. Like, it kills me to look at you."
I'm not used to my dad crying, but since my dad found out I was using drugs, and I saw my dad cry, and you know, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
You know, I always thought to myself, well, I'm gonna stop this day, I'm gonna stop that day. You know, this is my last time. This is getting tiring.
It's just this pattern that goes over and over and over.
Not a life at all. That's the way to die, not to live.
I'm tired of all the regrets in my life, you know. I'm tired of regretting of what I've done to my family.
I'm 42 years old. I partied enough.
I don't want to live that life anymore.
I really started screaming to God, you know, please, you know, if you're there, help me. You know, I'm tired of this. I can't do this anymore.
And I said, Mom, I need help. I'm done.
A relative told me about this rehab in Missouri.
They're like, if you don't go, you got not even a year left. You got a couple months left to live.
I just threw my hands up and I said, okay, I'll go. No, I have to do something.
In the working process, a man changed from inside. He learned professional skills, learned responsibilities and many things. You know.
You need work in this world to survive. You cannot be a bum in this world and be successful.
Instead of me laying in my bed withdrawing for about 2 weeks, I'll withdraw in 4 or 5 days because I worked. And through that process, I've regained my strength back faster than I would normally.
Something like this probably works better than, you know, just regular rehab where you sit and you talk about your problems. You keep talking about it, you reminisce about those old days, but here, you know, they don't really do that.
When you move, you don't think about heroin, you don't think about past.
All the work and everything they have you do here keeps your mind clean, clear.
What I like about this place is every day is completely different from each other. Like one day I could be fixing a car, another day I could be digging a hole. Another day I could be feeding the cows. Another day I could be building a house.
So we ended up destroying each other. So I ended up doing drugs again, and she ended up drinking again, and we destroyed ourselves. That's what we do.
The problem is so deep that you cannot control yourself. You can't fix this.
I just cried out to God, like, help me, God, you know, help me.
In order to get past a lifetime full of junk, you got to do something drastic like this place and work it out of you.
Drug addicts, our main thing is we do not work, and we're very lazy people.
If you feel like you don't want to pick up the shovel and you don't want to work and you force yourself to do it, your process begins. You're starting something.
It gets tough at times, I'm not gonna lie. Just, like, a lot of times I want to go home, but I know what's best for me and I know this is what I need.
What have you learned past year?
Responsibility, discipline, humbleness, faithfulness. Come on. Trust, love. Woo, love was the most hardest one for me.
New life means new life. And that's real talk.
It's unbelievable what's happening here.
I can see a change in me in 3 months that I've been here.
Every day I wake up, I'm happy I'm still here. I'm happy I'm alive.
I just want to come back home and be a better dad.
Spiritually, I've never been this happy at the stage that I am.
Being changed and renewed, transformed into actually society's like cream of the crop. It's quite something, and it's touching.
You cannot put price on this kind of ministry.
This understanding of change, it's not just for drug addicts whatsoever. This could work for everybody who's out there. Doesn't matter what it is. If you have a character deficiency, you could use these principles.
Take that risk, take that leap of faith and see for yourself. You'll see if you stick through it that you'll come out on top.